All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you smoke weed every day and you feel like shit, I completely understand. I actually identify with it, okay? But see, the difference is I stopped pretending like weed was the sole problem to all my issues, right? And I started fixing myself. And here's exactly what I mean by that. Now, let's be real for a moment about this stigma that cannabis carries. I've only been in this community for the last 5 years, but I've always known what comes with being a stoner. Most people think you're unreliable, you're broke, and you have no motion. And I used to be one of those people that thought that way. And I'll go as far as saying I was in that position where I didn't have any motion. It happens to the best of us, right? But here's the flip side of things. Around 2 years ago, leading up to my father's death, he died from cancer. And I had a lot of motion at the time, so I don't want to get that misconstrued. I was acting theatrically. I was doing a bunch of commercials, a bunch of print, still creating content. I was doing everything under the sun to keep my mind going and stimulated. But at the same time, I was spreading myself so thin that something had to give. Like I was just completely stressing myself out. And I guess in a sense, that's also being stuck, because you can do a million things at once and not be efficient or effective at all. And that's how I was feeling. Although I was pursuing a career as an actor, and I was booking shit, you feel me? Go figure. The money was cool, but my time and just my overall mental was fried. I was smoking out of anxiety. I was smoking just to calm my nerves and breathe a little bit. My days would literally consist of me rolling up in the morning, and I'm an early bird. The worst thing you can do, this is something that I can attest to for sure, do not roll over and check your phone first thing in the morning. You just never know what you're gonna get. And that's the first thing that could just cook your productivity and just your mindset to try to start the day. I would do that shit. I get to scrolling on Instagram, sitting on the couch. I mean, I'll make coffee, but then time would just kind of start to fly by. I just couldn't lock in. I had so many things going on, and it's like, if I put the effort towards this audition and I don't get it, then I waste my time. And now that I think about it, I think I was just depressed. I was doing so many things to keep my mind focused, and I'm still thinking about my father and him going through chemo and just everything he had going on, and the pressure on my mom, and I'm living in LA and I can't go back to Michigan when I wanted to because we were in a pandemic, just all these different variables. A lot of these things I could not control. And it was a very humbling experience. And I smoked probably the most I ever smoked in my life. And I would just do it just to get by, man. Because as soon as I got a break, I couldn't face all those demons, you know? I couldn't face those intrusive thoughts. So when my pops finally passed away, it was like everything that I had been working towards, it just dissipated. Like it wasn't important to me anymore. But the first time in my life, I kind of figured out what was important, the things that I valued. So while I'm going through all of this, I'm also ashamed of myself at the same time. Yeah, I was kind of ashamed of myself sitting there sulking, but the pain was just too much. Wake and bake and scroll. I'm just watching TikToks, I'm watching Instagram. I'm like so invested in other people's lives because I felt like mine was in shambles. And the part that started to really bother me was the looping of this. This turned into a cycle. It broke me. Yeah, it definitely broke me. And the first thing that changed was I stopped utilizing weed as an escape. And I started to bake it into my routines as an enhancement. It wasn't necessarily my consumption of cannabis. And it wasn't like when I smoked, it was how I smoked. It was my intention going into it. Weed just kind of enhances how I'm already feeling. If I had a day and I smoke and I don't like catch myself, I could potentially have a obsession. It's really been such a game changer for me because I utilize it for very specific things, you know. I still wake up in the morning and wake and bake, and I'll have my coffee. I'll check my calendar, my reminders, just to see what's on the schedule. that first session of the day, that's prepping me to go into the gym. And I just stretch and I just feel more limber and just like free at the same time. And I can go into my workout regimen and just do it with grace. I have this saying that anything you can do, I can do better, and I can do it STONER. I also created anchors for myself. Now, what do I mean by anchors? Peep this. So you smoking, right? Getting high. You can't see my hand, but it's up there. But you need something to pull you down, to balance you out. So the anchor would be an intentional task or something, whether it's like journaling. So I'm smoking and I'm journaling at the same time. Like I have to put these ideas to paper, or like my notes or something. I have to get it out, because if I don't, I'm gonna hold on to it and it's gonna pile up, and I'm an overthinker already. That's just not good for us. You know how that goes. So that's whether I'm doing that, or I'll just give you the premise of what I usually do. It's called a dank tank. I usually set all my lights in here green to just set the mood, you feel me? And then I'll play some music that I really vibe to, that really speaks to my soul. You know, that's a lot of Currency, man. That's Larry June. That's old school. That's R&B. That's lo-fi. Pretty much anything that I can smoke to and catch a vibe. But when I'm doing that in that moment, I'm just putting myself in the best state of mind to just relax, if that's what I'm doing, or if I'm intentionally going into it with a problem to solve. I did it for the Productive Stoner Society, like what I'm building right now. I smoked and I flushed out the ideas of how I wanted to approach it, and for the YouTube channel, just the complete redesign and revamp. Like I smoked before I did it, and I jot all these ideas down, and this is literally me executing right now. Before you know it, you start to understand that you are literally a productive stoner. And one thing I want you to keep in mind about this, like, you have to treat each one of these like a little win. You want to stack these little wins, and it's so difficult to have like these inconsistent bursts of energy or initiative rather to do things. Like when you do some shit, you really do some shit and get it done, you know? But then that might be, oh, I'll do it this week. I'll give it 2 days this week. That's all I got. The following week, you don't do anything. So then you can never really get the ball rolling. You know, you won't have enough leverage. So that's why it's imperative to just stack these small wins. Just line them up. And recently, I created a stoner reset tracker to just make sure I'm staying on pace for the things that I'm trying to accomplish. You can keep track of your tasks, how you consume the cannabis, whether it's edible, whether it's a flower, on your effort level, your high thoughts when they hit you. Like literally, if you're sitting there and you're smoking and these ideas are just running rampant, like I don't want you to just let those go to waste. I want you to pull out your phone, pull out your journal, pull out your laptop, jot it down, but make sure you put it in the stoner tracker. The worst case scenario is that you'll have the bare bones for the idea that you can go back to, and you can flush it out, you can turn it into something, because that is the point. If you don't have motion, we're gonna get you some motion. I literally almost forgot one of the biggest components of the structure. It's this concept that's called the 90-minute sprint. You have certain tasks that may be for the day or just on your weekly calendar, whatever that is. You would be surprised as to how many of those tasks you could literally get done. 90 minutes of focus, no distractions, and just knocking shit out. I tried it, and it was the best way to operate for me. So throughout the day, I have 90-minute blocks where I'm on and off. You know what I mean? Like if there's content ideas that I need to flush out, that is what I'm doing for 90 minutes. I don't want to overdo it, but I also want to sit down and give it enough time. I want to be able to give it enough thought. All right. So it seems like 90 minutes is a good window to be able to do that. So I'm 90 minutes on, and then I will break and I will do nothing for like an hour. It's intentional. That's what I want you to understand. It is very intentional. And I also want to let you know that you are not broken. You are not broken, okay? You might be broken, but like I don't want you to keep that in your mind, all right? I don't want you to be a victim. This is also what I had to tell myself. You're just missing the tools in a community of people with your same vibe that live your same lifestyle. This channel is really for the stoners that want to evolve, the stoners that have been stuck. Obviously, I commend the productive stoners that are out there as well that's already functioning at a high level. They may need to pick me up as well. They may need to bake something new into the system to scale, whatever that looks like in their life. It's like, that's why me and Mary Jane are like this, man, and I stand on that. I really live by that. If you need a little motivation, go ahead and follow the Productive Stoner Instagram, all right? I'm gonna drop the link in the description. We got daily memes, we got some motivation, got some things that'll make you laugh, some things that'll make you feel something, you know, things that are relatable to us, the way we think. And I will see you in the next video. And we're gonna keep this ball rolling. I appreciate y'all. I sincerely do. All right? Yeah.